another story that has been capturing headlines right throughout the year, and that has been these calls for a Royal Commission into veteran suicide. Grieving Adelaide mother Julie-Ann Finney met with Labor Leader Anthony Albanese for a second time as she continues her campaign for a Royal Commission into veteran suicides. Her son Dave took his own life after battling with PTSD. Julie-Ann Finney joins us live now from Sydney. Julie-Ann, thank you for your time. What happened at this morning's meeting with the Labor leader?
Anthony just contacted me to let me know that he would like to make a show of remembering our veterans over Christmas, especially with 6 veteran deaths in the last 3 weeks. That now was not the time to stop and think about what we were going to do next year, but to actually perhaps call a Royal Commission. I've had information that, some meetings are taking place, and the people that our current government is getting on board are people that think like-minded. For instance, the ADSO are veterans who don't support a Royal Commission, they don't support contemporary veterans, and yet they want to be advising our government. They have psychiatrists who think that a Royal Commission will be triggering. Well, I can tell you from a veteran's point of view and from a family member's point of view, being me, the mother, there is nothing more triggering than what is already going on. The Prime Minister has promised that money is not an issue with a Royal Commission, so just call it. We've had 6 deaths in 3 weeks. Just call it. It's not good enough. Give the veterans and their families a reason to breathe easily going into 2020, knowing that it's coming up. Money's not an issue. I've even heard that there's a lot of good initiatives at the moment, and they're saying either or. These things aren't paid for from the same budget. The Royal Commission is a separate budget altogether. Call it now, you've got nothing to lose. It's not political, it's bipartisan. Just call it before the end of the year and let us breathe easy going into 2020.
So for some of those from the veterans community who have said that the money for a Royal Commission could be better spent in getting that money into frontline services now, you disagree on that point?
Absolutely. There's $11.5 billion going out to veterans services at the moment. We're only asking for $100 million for the Royal Commission, if you consider that on the budget. And it is a separate budget, so if the government wants to say, well, we'll spend it on a Royal Commission or something else, it's not an either or. It's both. We need to be looking after veterans, we need to be addressing these initiatives now, and we need to be investigating what we are doing so wrong, and that Royal Commission needs to be from recruitment through to end of life. And the government does not know all the answers. Now, they've been fighting not to have a Royal Commission, but that war is over with 6 deaths in the last weeks, and I can tell you as a mother, that's a lot of empty chairs for Christmas, a lot of empty chairs.
Oh, absolutely heartbreaking. Do you think that the government could be taking action now based on the Productivity Commission report that came out about veteran suicide before even a Royal Commission?
Well, to start with, the Productivity Commission said that the DVA is not fit for purpose, so where do you take action on that? They keep band-aiding it and just adding little bits and little bits. It doesn't take into account the ADF at all, which is where our veterans are broken. They're broken in the ADF and then they're discarded. We need to look at, as I said, from recruitment through to end of life, what we're doing. It's not all about money, but we need to investigate it all.
And what do you think could be achieved with the Royal Commission? What will we help expose that we don't know now?
Well, there is things I don't know that we don't know, but certainly we need to look at the hierarchy. We need to look at changes. I don't want to jeopardise the defence of our country, and I certainly don't want to say that being in defence isn't a good career, but when somebody is broken, there has to be solutions to looking after them, not just discarding them to go on their own way. And just looking at the recent deaths and talking to their families, once again, they've come back from somewhere and they're not well people and they're just discarded. So we need to investigate why that is, exactly what we're doing there. DVA is not fit for purpose. We know that. We've known that for quite some time. It needs to be broken down. There's a lot that they've been doing that is not, that they have to be held accountable for. And then, as I said, after that, there's the ESOs that are getting together to form big groups to advise government when they have no care for our contemporary veterans.
Absolutely heartbreaking issue. Julie-Ann Finney, I feel for you this time of year. I know just how hard this issue is, but thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us about this.
Can I just say, please call it before the end of the year.
I'm sure the PM is listening. You've done some remarkable advocacy work in this space. Julie-Ann Finney, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Now, if you or anyone you know is feeling distressed, you can call Lifeline on 131114 or visit lifeline.org.au to get help. Support for veterans in particular is also available at openarms.gov.au.